Sometimes mixing vocals can feel like an absolute nightmare. You feel like you don't have the tools, you feel like you don't have the skills, and you just feel lost. Today we're going to fix all of that, and I'm going to show you exactly how I mix vocals from start to finish using only stock plugins. So I promise you have the tools, and by the end of the video, I promise you will have the skills and you will no longer feel lost when it comes to mixing vocals. Let's jump in here and let me start by playing you the final mix for this song as it is, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to trim out all of the plugins on the vocal mix here. I'm going to delete all of them, and we're going to start from the complete beginning on the vocals using only stock plugins. So here's the final mix for this song as it is, and then we're going to clear it out and start all over.
Holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. And when the breeze rolls in, you will come. There's no place to run, but love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the one you want, if he's just there to come.
So that's our final mix for this song. Now I'm going to strip off all of the plugins here, and I'll actually hit play. You can hear where the vocal's sitting, and then I'll take the plugins off one by one, and we'll go back to the raw vocal here.
Holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will come. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the one you want, if he's just there to come.
So that's our raw vocal. It's not a bad recording. It's a good sounding vocal recording. But if I hit play here on solo, you can hear it's not going to compete in the track.
Holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. And when the breeze rolls in, you will come. There's no place to run.
Easily gets eaten up by all the keys, the guitars, all the background vocals going on. Our lead vocal completely disappears. So I'm going to remove all of the plugins here. I'm going to leave the effects because what we'll end up doing here is we'll just switch the plugins that are on the sends. So we'll keep the same sends. We'll close that off for now. So here's our raw vocal, and we're going to get to work on this.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will come.
So that's our raw vocal. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull in an EQ, and this is the stock EQ here inside of Studio One. The first thing I'm kind of noticing visually and just hearing it in the vocal is there's a little bit of buildup in the low end and the low mid area. So I'm going to use a high pass filter to take care of that. I'm going to come down here. We're going to click on the low cut filter, the high pass filter. We're going to roll it up 12 dB per octave slope. We want to get rid of all this energy that's building up in the sub area. And I'm going to roll a little bit into the low mids here to try and tame that as well.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will come. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder.
Right there already feels like it drastically cleans up the vocal, and it focuses us in on the heart of this sound, which is 200 hertz and above on the vocal. Everything down here, we've got some mud around the 150 area, kind of some build up when on lower notes, like when he's saying but and stuff like that. And then we've got some low end energy that we don't really need in the vocal, whether it's breaths or plosives or anything like that, just building up around the 20, 30, 40 area. So rolling all of that off, giving us some extra headroom as well on the vocal, but mainly cleaning up the tone and focusing in on the heart of this sound.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call.
Really evens out our tone as well. Now, before we do anything else with this EQ, I like to get a compressor in place before I start boosting any kind of top end. So I'm going to pull in the stock compressor here inside of Studio One. Attack wise, let's start at about 7 milliseconds. And then release wise, let's start at about 40 milliseconds. For compressing vocals, I'm always going to recommend a faster attack and a faster release. You kind of want to grab some of those transients, some of those peaks, and pull them down. And then release, you want to let go as fast as possible. So you want the compressor to get in there, grab those peaks, grab anything that's jumping out, and then let go and leave the rest of the vocal unaffected. So we're pulling the peaks down and bringing up the valleys. And because we're targeting peaks here more, I'm going to go 4:1 with the ratio. Everything else looks okay. I'm not too worried about the knee or anything, but we'll leave that where it is. No auto makeup gain. I'm going to pull the threshold down now, and we're going to start with maybe 7 to 10 dB reduction. Doing a lot of compression on vocals helps it sit really nicely in the mix, but with a stock compressor like this, if you're a beginner, really cranking down the threshold to get a lot of compression can help you get your attack and release set right.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the one you want, or if he's just there to kiss. But holding on to hope but holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder.
I'm feeling better there, so I pulled the attack up, or I sped the attack up to about 4 milliseconds here. I was kind of just watching the gain reduction here and listening to how it's affecting the vocal. I felt like the compressor needed to be a little bit quicker to react to the incoming vocal. Felt like it grabbed those peaks a little bit more and controlled the overall volume better on the vocal. The release actually felt and looked really, really good. We're doing about 10.5 dB reduction. Let's hit play and see if that's okay, volume-wise and level-wise on our fader here.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the one you want.
Yeah, I like that. That feels really, really good. It feels like it's evening out the vocal already. Volume-wise, let's kind of push it up just a touch.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow.
That feels better there. We're not quite even with the vocal beforehand, but we can A-B our compressor here.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the...
You can hear there it's really pulling down some of those peaks that jump out in the vocal, and it keeps our vocal really, really even sounding volume-wise, and it kind of shifts our tone a little bit more, kind of clamps down on everything. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this first EQ. We're going to start to add some brightness to this vocal. That's what I feel like it's lacking up here around 7, 8, 9K, some brightness and some air. So I'm going to hit play, and we're going to start to push up this top end into the compressor.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely want ease. But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow.
So
But when
I'm settled on about a 6 dB boost here, almost 7 dB boost at 8K, 1 on the Q, so a wide Q. We're boosting from about 5K up to about 15K here. It's giving the vocal a ton of air, bringing up some nice breath and ambience around the vocal, and it balances out the overall tone on our vocal. So it doesn't feel like most of the energy is sitting down here around 300, 400, 500. It feels like our energy is very consistent tone-wise across the vocal. But you probably heard as we pulled that up, we started to get some sibilance problems. So let me A-B this, take a listen to how the tone changes on our vocal. Listen for that sibilance problem as well. Here's without and then with.
but holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love...
So we get some nice crispness on the vocal, but it does add some sibilance. Now, there's a couple options here. We're going to start with the Studio One de-esser. This is a stock plugin inside of Studio One, and I know a lot of DAWs come with stock de-essers like Pro Tools and such, but if they don't, we're going to use another option as well. But we're going to start here. We're going to look at 4K and above, full range. We'll start with maybe gentle and kind of see what that does there. We'll switch back and forth as well and kind of see what each of these does.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. Breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the one you want, or if he's just there to come. But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow.
That's feeling pretty good there. So I've got the S reduction, the threshold down at about -34. We're using wide on the shape. Let's mess with the range a little bit and kind of see what's going on there.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will... That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to... Where love's not sure... Well, love's not sure to fall. Well, love's not sure to, well, love's not sure to follow. Well, love's not sure to, well, love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the one you want, if he's just there to come. He's holding on to hope.
Cool, that's sounding pretty good. Now, if your DAW doesn't come with a stock de-esser, and I know some of them don't, Studio One used to not come with a stock de-esser, but it came with a stock multiband compressor, which I feel like is less common than a de-esser. But if your DAW doesn't come with a stock de-esser, you can actually utilize the sidechain function on the compressor. So I actually have a preset because I used to use this as well. We're just using the sidechain. We're going to look at everything above 3K. So we're making the compressor listen to only above 3K, but it's going to compress the vocal based on that frequency range.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely want.
That's one of my favorites. I used to love using this, and I also used the multiband dynamics. And I know some DAWs come with a multiband compressor as well. So if that's another option you want to reach for, you can do pretty much the same thing. So all we're doing is we're taking this compressor and we're making it just look at the top end. So everything above 3K, 20-to-1 ratio, fast attack, fast release, and then we're compressing just based on the top end here. The only difference between this and using the multiband is that the compressor still compresses the entire signal. It's just listening to the top end to get the compression. Whereas if you use something like the multiband or like the de-esser, you can actually only compress the top end instead of compressing the entire frequency range. But sometimes compressing the entire frequency range can sound better. So let's throw the compressor inside the track and see how that feels.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run, but love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the one you want, if he's just there to come.
I'm liking the compressor better. I like how it feels attacking the entire frequency range instead of just compressing the top end. So we're going to nuke the de-esser for now. But if you have just a stock de-esser inside of your DAW, feel free to jump with that as well. Sometimes they're better than others. I don't have the greatest confidence in the PreSonus one just yet, but I haven't used it enough to get that comfortable with it. I still reach for this compressor or the multiband dynamics when I'm going for de-essing. Now, a couple things left here. I want to check the bottom end on the vocal, and then I want to get into effects.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow.
I'm actually pretty happy with the bottom end. I'm going to leave that EQ there to see if we do end up needing it to trim out some bottom end on the vocal after we add effects. But for now, I'm really, really happy with how that's sounding on the vocal. Now, for effects, slap delay is the first effect here. And I can actually just click this back on because I do use just the stock delay inside of Studio One. All this is a 100 millisecond delay, no feedback or anything like that, 100% on the mix. I am using the low cut and high cut that's built into the delay, but if you don't have a high cut and low cut built into your delay, you can literally just throw an EQ at the end of your delay, so right after it, and just roll off everything below 300 and everything above 3K. I'm also utilizing the built-in drive on this. If you don't have a built-in drive function on your delay, that's okay. It's not the biggest deal in the world. You can always pull in whatever stock distortion plugin you have, whether it's like a distortion pedal or red light distortion here inside of Studio One. You have lo-fi in Pro Tools. Whatever you have, use whatever you have. It doesn't have to be an all-in-one type of plugin like the stock delay is here inside of Studio One. But those are the settings, just a 100 millisecond slap delay with a little bit of distortion. I'm gonna hit play, and then I'll click the slap delay and you can hear what it's doing.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow.
So it just gives it a little bit of dimension to our vocal, kind of gives us that Elvis, Foo Fighters style slapback. I have it pretty low here on this vocal because it's not something I'm leaning very heavily on. Now the next effect is a Lexicon A plate, is what I'm usually using here. It's a 2-second plate reverb. It's an actual impulse response. Now these are free, so if you want to use these, that's fine. It's just the Simplicity impulse responses. It's one of them of the Lexicon 480. It's the A plate, 2-second reverb, 150 millisecond pre-delay. I'm not going to use this today. I'm actually going to go back to the stock reverb here inside of Studio One. And I'm going to start with maybe their flat plate reverb. Or actually, I have my old preset. And this is actually the same thing. It's just kind of changed over the years as Studio One has updated. But still, a 2-second reverb with a 150 millisecond pre-delay. And you will get pretty much the same thing here. We could start with maybe just a normal plate reverb as well and kind of mess with the pre-delay on it. So let's click this up. So 2-second plate reverb. Let's see what this is sounding like here. I'm going to turn the slap delay off for the moment.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder.
So funny enough, this reverb started with a negative pre-delay of about 150. So just clicking the pre-delay to 0 there actually feels really, really solid here. So you can see kind of where the reverb ends up here with that pre-delay. Just listen what this pre-delay is doing to our vocal. It's pushing the reverb out behind the vocal. So you hear the vocal and then you hear the reverb. That's what's so important and crucial about using the pre-delay. So our reverb isn't sitting directly on top of our vocal, it's out behind it. We have some space and some separation between our lead vocal and our reverb so we don't get all of that extra mud.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call.
And then I do just have this EQ after the reverb, rolling everything off below 300 and rolling off just a touch of the top end, everything above 10K. Just taking care of some of this super, super top end. I don't need a lot of sibilance or air on the reverb. And then rolling off all of the bottom end, the sub area, and the mud on the reverb. Again, don't want to add extra weight or mud to our vocal. So that's our slap delay. And that's our reverb. Let's throw these back inside the track, see how they're sounding.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love.
Cool. The last effect I'm using is also actually a stock effect inside of Studio One, stock plugin, just the analog delay again. I'm making use of the splitter function here inside of Studio One. Every DAW kind of has their way to do this, whether you send to two separate effects channels, one panned left and one panned right, or you use multi-channel, whatever it's called in Pro Tools, where you can access the left channel and the right channel on a stereo effect. All I'm doing is I'm putting a delay on the left and a delay on the right. They're starting at a quarter note, but they're each split 10 milliseconds off from a quarter note. So if I sync this quarter note and we come back, it's 397. So on this side, I have it set to 387, so 10 milliseconds short of a quarter note. And then on the right side, you can see we're 10 milliseconds past a quarter note, 407. I am using the low cut and high cut again, but if it's not built into your stock delay, just throw an EQ afterwards, roll off everything below 300, everything above 10K. Both of these are set to 100% mix. So a delay on the left, delay on the right, and then I've got a compressor at the end of the chain, still just the stock compressor inside of Studio One, 30 millisecond attack, 80 millisecond release, 3-to-1 ratio, but we're side chaining it from the lead vocal. So this compressor is listening to the lead vocal and compressing our delay, our stereo delay. What this does is every time the lead vocal is going, our delay is going to be compressed by about 8 dB. So while the vocal's going, you're not really hearing the delay. When our vocal stops, there's gaps or anything, space in between vocal lines. That's when our delay comes up in volume to fill those gaps. So again, keeping the effect out of the way of the vocal so we don't get any mud, any cloudiness, but when there's space, that effect comes up to fill that space. So I'll turn off our verb and our slap delay. Here's just the stereo delay on the vocal.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call.
You can hear how it jumps up in those spaces between the vocal. It's a really, really cool effect to use to give you some stereo delay on the vocal, but also keep it out of the way of our lead. So let's throw all of our effects in. Here's our finished vocal sound so far.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow.
Sounding really, really good. Let's throw this back in the track and we'll do an A-B inside the track, and I'll also solo it up and do an A-B of our plugins on the soloed vocal here.
But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the one you want, if he's just there to come. But holding on to hope is where I'm coming from. That when the breeze rolls in, you will call. There's no place to run where love's not sure to follow. 'Cause we may lay these traps and leave our minds to wallow. But when the time comes, love, you will surely wonder if he's the one you want, if he's just there to come. But holding on to
Mixing vocals from start to finish using only stock plugins. We're starting with an EQ here, rolling off everything in the sub area and inching a little bit into the low mid area to kind of take care of that muddiness, just using a high pass filter there, 12 dB per octave slope. Then we're jumping to our compressor, stock compressor. I've got a 4 millisecond attack, 40 millisecond release, so fast attack and fast release here, 4-to-1 ratio, pulling that threshold down to we're getting about 7 to 10 dB reduction here on the vocal. Really focusing on grabbing those peaks, pulling the peaks down and bringing up the valleys on the vocal to keep it really, really consistent so we can park it out front in this track. We've got about 4 or 5 dB of makeup gain as well. Then we're coming back to our stock EQ and boosting some top end. So about 6, 7 dB at 8K here to add some brightness, add some shine, and some crispiness to our vocal as well. But of course, boosting top end does give us some sibilance problems. I'm using the stock compressor here as a de-esser, but always feel free to just grab the stock de-esser in your DAW if your DAW does come with a stock de-esser. But we're just having this compressor look at 3K and above, fast attack, fast release, 20-to-1 ratio, so really limiting down whenever there is a sibilance problem on the vocal. There's an EQ on the end, but we didn't end up using that. We were going to use it to boost bottom end, but it's feeling really, really good once we got our effects in. Our stock effects here, we've got a slap delay, just a 100 millisecond slap delay, utilizing the filters that are built into this plugin. But as always, if your stock plugin doesn't come in with the built-in effects, just pull in another EQ and pull in some distortion if you would like as well. Next, we had this Lexicon A-plate style reverb, just the stock reverb from inside of Studio One, a flat plate reverb, 2-second plate reverb, and then I did dial the pre-delay up 150 milliseconds from where it was in the negative there to make sure it's pushed out in front of the vocal. I do have an EQ after this as well, rolling off everything below 300 and everything above 10K. And then last but not least, we have a stereo delay going on. So 10 milliseconds short of a quarter note on the left, 10 milliseconds past a quarter note on the right. And then we're using a compressor to control that side change from our lead vocal to make sure none of our effects get in the way of our stock plugin vocal mix. I hope that was helpful for you if you are looking to go a little bit deeper into the mixing process in its entirety and really start to hone your workflow as an audio engineer. Then I have just the tool for you, and it is completely free. It is my 7-step mixing checklist, and it's just a simple PDF guide that will walk you through the entire mixing process step by step to help you get professional and radio-ready mixes without any more of the guesswork. Completely free to download, and you can get access to that by clicking the link below in the video description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.